What's up, guys? Mike here. Today we are going to go over why I think the market is a little bit overbought, and I think there is going to be some kind of pullback coming over the next few weeks or maybe even the month. Usually the month of April is actually one of the most bullish months in the market. That's why we see the S&P 500 just constantly going up pretty much every single day, but I still think we are going to have a pullback within the next few weeks or two coming up. And in this video, we are going to go over and discuss why I think there is some pullbacks. As you can see, the only companies really going up the past few months is the S&P 500 companies, right? If you go look at any other company, they're pretty much either moving or trading across, or they're pretty much on a downward trend. All right, you might get like a day or two where it pops up, but the next few days after that, it just kills everything. It kills all the gains that it made the day or two, and it just goes right back to a downward trend. So I think that we are still headed for a little bit of a downturn coming up, but market usually tends to always go back up. There's nothing to really worry about. If you're a long-term trader, there's really nothing to worry about much about it, because the market usually tends to go up over time regardless, especially if you're trading S&P 500 companies, especially trading dividend stocks. Those will usually tend to recover and go back up again, and that's pretty much what the market tends to do. It usually does tend to go up and trade and continuously move forward, because market is pretty much a forward thinking process, right? So we're going to go over that. We're going to see how we can also hedge our positions and find ways where we can still make money even as the market starts trading in a downward trend. Anyways, guys, with that said, let's waste no further time. Make sure you always smash that like button, hit subscribe. It really helps out that channel. And also check out my Patreon page. Come and join and trade with us. I think a lot of you guys would benefit from that if you are just losing a lot of money. Come and join my Patreon page and trade with us. Anyways, guys, with that said, let's waste no further time. Let's begin. Yeah. All right, guys, let's check out what's going on with the S&P 500, the market overall right now. I just feel like the market right now is just way too overbought, and I feel like we are going to have another pullback coming. Now, the pullback might not be very heavy, it might not see a huge drop, but I do feel like a pullback will definitely be coming. Now, this is the SPY, ticker symbol SPY. This is pretty much the representative of the S&P 500 companies, and just look at that. The whole time it has been on a huge uptrend. Look at that. RSI is just way too oversold. There's definitely, every time we have an oversold market on the RSI, a pullback is just a necessary breather, right? Now, I'm not going to say that this pullback will cause a massive sell-off, right? Like go to all the way from like 392 all the way to like 370. That's a huge $22 drop. That's huge, right? That's a massive, pretty much panic sell-off that was coming. A lot of people got destroyed during February and March on that massive pullback. But I still see a pullback definitely coming. It might not be as big as this. This was just a huge one, right? We might have a little one like this one. This one was just a little small one. RSI cools down a little bit back to the 50, 60 RSI level from the overbought 70 RSI plus, right? Now, this is just a little bit of my theory, right? This might not just happen. The market can just continuously keep going up, surpassing 70, going to like 80, even 90 RSI. But usually the last few years, many years, right? If you have been trading charts, you know that every time the market goes above 70 RSI, there's definite pullbacks coming, right? If we go to the weekly chart, we'll see pullbacks are going to come, right? This was just the March crash, so you can't really focus on that. Excuse me, sorry about that. Anyways, but pullbacks are healthy for the market, right? It might hurt a lot of people in the overall, like nobody wants to see a huge pullback, but they are necessary. We do need them. Every time we go above this 70 RSI, we definitely see a little bit come back, right? So it's not going to be heavy. I don't think we're going to have a huge pullback, but I do feel like we will have a little bit of a pullback. This one, I would say, is a little bit of what we might be looking at from maybe like a $10 to $15 pullback just on the SPY, right? I still think we are in a huge bullish market. I don't see anything bearish about this market. It's just we need a pullback, right? It's sometimes very healthy and necessary to have a pullback. Now, where could we see this pullback coming? We could still check out the charts. Charts will still help us, guide us, see where we could see it. Just a lot of people will think this is going to be a mega pullback, right? I doubt we'll see this back to 390s. This just would be a huge pullback, a massive, massive pullback. But the thing is, we are about to go into one of the biggest earnings weeks coming up, right? Next week, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, all the huge, big, multi-trillion-dollar companies are about to report their earnings, right? Amazon, Google, they're all about to do earnings, right? And if they start to report bad earnings, we can definitely see this pullback. We can see it going back to the 390s, 400s, right? And that's the only thing that I'm worried about. Like, a lot of people are just getting way too greedy, and they're not considering it, and they're not taking some profits, right? Facebook is about to do their earnings. All these top huge companies are about to do their earnings report. Now, today wasn't a very hot day. The market was on a massive turn down. It just, a lot of things were red, right? We barely have few things in green, and if they're in green, they're just barely slightly green, right? Like, if you check the chart, it'll tell you 0 to 1% is like a very light green. Only like 1 or 2 companies were like massive green, right? It's just most of the companies were pretty much bloodshot. Nvidia, Microsoft, Tesla was probably because of the car crash accident that they had, that the 2 people got unfortunately murdered in the car accident, and they assumed that they put it on autopilot, but nobody was in the driver's seat. But as we can see, a lot of the semiconductors had a massive sell-off, right now we're on a huge semiconductor chips shortage, right? We're on the chip shortage. A lot of these companies are having huge pullback, specifically Intel is just, every time they're trying to make their processors, their chip shortage is just so big that they can't come out with their new next generation chips, right? Because they just have such huge shortages, right? More semiconductors. Applied Materials, we have our Lam Research Corporation, one of the biggest 2 semiconductors, one of the biggest chips. We have a lot of shortages, right? And as you can see, a lot of the banks also had pullbacks, right? Coca-Cola just did earnings. Pepsi will do it. A lot of these S&P 500 companies are about to do their earnings this week and next week, right? And these are the companies that are pretty much moving the SPY, right? These are the companies that are pushing the SPY up, pretty much dividend companies, right? If these companies, Johnson & Johnson, Pfizer, Lilly, Merck, all these start reporting bad earnings and we start having huge pullbacks, Costco, Walmart, Procter & Gamble about to have earnings coming up, all right, it's going to have a huge effect. Now, banks did very well, right? Last week, they just had earnings. Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, Citi, they all had earnings, and they did very well, right? Bank of America, they reported some really good, decent earnings. Why? Because right now, a lot of people have been using their money, right? There are a lot of people who are spending more money. As we can see, a lot of stores are opening back up again. A lot of people are booking flights again. It is opening up, right? The country is trying to open up slowly. A lot of people are getting vaccinated. Philip Morris had earnings today. Altria will have earnings coming soon. Now, these 2 companies are your dividend companies, right? Dividend companies, right? Most people, they buy these because of their dividends, right? T-Mobile, Verizon are about to have earnings just this week. Netflix is going to have earnings. Google, Facebook, Amazon, Tesla, Microsoft, Apple, and Adobe. If these start reporting, Nvidia, if these are going to start reporting bad earnings, AMD, all these could have a huge effect, right? Especially if you're trading the TQQ. These are going to have relative effects, right? The last month, everybody was freaking out in month of February till March. They're freaking out. There's a huge March sell-off, massive crash in tech sector. They said tech is over, right? They expected tech to just die. But what happened? We had a nice pull back up, and we even went higher than the highs, right? So that's going to continuously happen, right? Even if we have a massive sell-off right around the 90s, right here, could be a huge support. And we're going to come right back up, right? Market tends to come back up. Look at that. RSI just became really overbought, hit the 70 RSI zone, and now it's back on a downtrend. Do I think we're going to have a huge downtrend like this, a massive sell-off? Maybe, maybe not. I expect it to just probably come to around 50, 60 RSI level like it's been doing several times. And this is healthy, right? We go from 70 back to 50, 60 RSI. We have some relative pullbacks, and then it just explodes right back up, and we're going to hit all-time highs relatively soon again, right? Don't expect this not to happen. We are going to constantly hit all-time highs. We're going to constantly beat the mark. The market is just constantly going to go up. It might not be the stocks you trade, right? It might not be those, but if there are S&P 500 companies, they are more likely to continuously go back up. Your stocks, your speculative stocks may not do that, right? All the speculative stocks may not go right back up, but the dividend companies on the S&P 500 are more likely to go back up compared to the stocks that aren't there, right? Because most people are now investing the S&P 500, they're investing in dividend stocks because dividend companies are pretty much the only ones going up. Just look at Pfizer, right? Pfizer has been doing phenomenally well. I expect a huge pullback coming from Pfizer, right? Right now, Pfizer, every time it hits like around 38 RSI, it just has a massive pullback, right? Sometimes it goes to 40, 42, but most of the time when Pfizer goes to 38, it's just a powerful dividend company, right? People know that. People know Pfizer isn't a growth company, and it has a lot of vaccine news to help push it up, but it's going to have its pullback, right? This is just way too overbought right now. 70 plus 80 RSI almost today it hit, and you are definitely going to see a pullback. Every time Pfizer hits 70 plus RSI, it has a massive pullback, right? If you're going to trade this stock, just expect a massive pullback to come, all right? It usually goes right back to around the 30, 35, 40 RSI. So it could go back to around $33 to $35 again, and that will be a good price to get back into Pfizer and trade it again and collect those beautiful dividends Pfizer does give off, right? But as we can see, market, CRM, Salesforce, all about to do earnings, and it is just a dangerous market right now, all right? Salesforce has been relatively doing well. It started going on a nice bullish uptrend again, which was very good. But we could see a pullback from this too, right? They're about to do earnings, and it might have a pullback. Anyways, guys, if you guys want to hedge your position, there's a few ways you can do that. You can either use the SQQQ if you are... SQQQ. If you are heavy in the tech sector, you could trade the SPXS for volatility. This is for 3-time bearish on the S&P 500. Right now, it's just way too undersold, so we can see a few dollars of return on the SPXS. And you can also trade the LABDU if you are on biotech stocks. Right now, it's just been way too oversold for biotechs. This is for bullish on a biotech stock, but I think it's just way too oversold right now, right? I think biotech might be the next sector we switch into, and we have it going right back up, right? Right now, the biotech sector is just getting crushed, right? LabD, which is the bearish, it has been doing relatively well. And you can also trade some bonds. Bonds could be your hedge as well, right? This is Treasury bullish for yields, right? Treasury yields have been starting to relatively move right back up. That's another way you can hedge your position in this market, right? This was just way too oversold here, and we are starting to relatively go back up. And this is another form of way you can hedge your position in this market. Thanks again for watching my video. As always, make sure to smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so YouTube could alert you when my next video comes out. Also, guys, feel free to add me on Instagram. I pretty much post there daily. I post some buys and sells there, but most of that honestly is going to be only done on my Patreon page. So make sure to check the link in the description box below and trade with us and sign up for my Patreon page. Anyways, guys, leave a comment below. Let me know what other stocks or other videos you like me to do a future video on, and I'd be happy to help you out, whether it's just a question or maybe it's a video that might intrigue me and I might just do on that stock. Also, guys, make sure you do not miss out on the promotion going on with WeBull right now, where they're giving 4 free stocks, 2 when you sign up to use their platform, and 2 more when you make a deposit of $100 or more. WeBull will give you 4 stocks, and 2 of those will be worth from a minimum value of $8 all the way up to $1,600. Check the link in the description box below for that. If you want another free stock, of course, FirstTrade gives out pretty good stocks. Check the link for that one too. And finally, of course, we have Robinhood, which also gives free stocks. Check the link in the description box for all of those if you want a free stock. And if you guys want to join Coinbase, Coinbase will give you free $5 to $10 if you use the link in the description box below. Right now, if you are trading crypto, because most of the money right now is moving from the market to cryptocurrency. Anyways, guys, thanks again for watching my video, and until next time, make money with Mike.